Good. Well, thanks for joining us, guys. We know your time's valuable, we really do, and we appreciate it. We're kind of excited to circle back up with you this morning and not go over the same old stuff. I mean, we still have our current product offering, and it's still selling and applicable in the market, but we've got some new stuff, 4 new products that we want to highlight today, and I think they're going to be a pretty good fit for your integrators and distributors. And we've done a blast mailing, which some of you may have seen, highlighting these products, and now we just kind of want to go through them with you so that, in 30 minutes you understand what they are. Any questions you have, you get answered, and we're ready to go sell them. So here's the agenda. The 4 new products, drum roll please, are the higher speed 5.8 gigahertz for IP surveillance video, our new industrial cellular gateway called the AvaLAN Net Drop, our secure dome housing with integrated FIPS 140-2. That's a pretty cool product. Was just named 2011 New Product of the Year by Security Products Magazine. To get into that one, it's a little more niche-y where it fits, but where it fits, it really fits. And then we're going to show you our pretty slick new wireless surveillance solar pole integrated solution, which I think a few of you have seen versions of it, I think ISC and whatnot, but we've got it out now. So the first product, I think everyone on this call is generally familiar with it. We came out with the 5 meg, 5.8 gigahertz bridge product only, and that we started to see some traction with that because of megapixel cameras and the like, and so we came out with now a 10 megabit product, same 5.8 gigahertz, 10 megabits, and it's point to multipoint. So you see the 2 images here. The top one is the point to multipoint, and then the bottom kit is a bridge pair. So in bridge pair, you have 2 panels pointing at each other, and then in a multipoint, you have one, the access point being an omni, and the 3 subscribers are in panels to get you the most gain pointing back. So yeah, we've got 3 part numbers now. 5810 HTA is the access point, 5810 HTS is subscriber, and then of course the pair. So now 10 megabits, as you guys all probably see, and we definitely want to hear feedback, but you're probably hearing a lot of things about 40 megabits and that sort of thing, and it always goes back to the same old thing Mike always preaches of, if you widen out the channel, you're going to have less reliability, more interference, you're going to have less channels to work with. So kind of the way we're doing this is, you can add another access point. We get 8 channels the way we do it. So let's say you want 20 megs. So you just add one more access point and partition a few other cameras off to that access point. Does that make sense? Cool. Let's see, what else to say about this? Yeah, it's pretty straightforward. It comes with mounting hardware. You guys are all pretty familiar with this. Easy to configure. The bridge pair comes pre-configured, all set up, and it's PoE, so single cable. Pretty much ships with everything you need. $27.99 is the MSRP on the bridge kit, and $13.99, I believe it is the access point or subscriber unit, and those are MSRPs. So distributor pricing will be 38% off of that, and I think everybody's got the latest price list. So that's about all on that one. And
have we tested how many actual? I mean, I know megapixels is important and whatnot, but on standard def, what would you say? How many cameras could we put in the multi-point?
Yeah, so it's 10 megabits listed. The effective is about 8 megabit throughput. So it kind of goes back to, how many frames per second, what kind of compression, and what resolution. Typically a meg will get you most standard def cameras, at 15 frames with H.264. So you could easily put 6 to 7 cameras, pretty easily on one access point.
And that'd be a D1 or 4 SIF?
Yeah.
Okay.
Even VGA probably. It's really just a calculation again, which, Rod, I know you've done plenty of those.
Yeah, I could have used this product a few times, but sadly, a lot of times it ends up being non-line of sight, so I'm stuck, you know.
Yeah, and that's the key. That's the key thing. I mean, this is line of sight. You know, when it comes to non-line of sight, it's still the same old battle for everyone in the industry. And we get the calls all the time. Hey, I'm non-line of sight, and I want to send 4 megapixel cameras, you know, a mile. It's like, well, good luck. You know, I wish I could help you.
Right.
All right, Maddie's going to take over with this one.
All right, guys. So the cellular product has been an interesting thing that we've been working on for, gosh, about a year or so. And we concluded that we wanted to offer a product that was very easy to deploy and very easy to provision, which meant we wanted a product that could work across multiple carriers, which is a fairly unique design from that standpoint. So our product can be provisioned on Sprint, on Verizon, on AT&T. It even can do GSM to be able to be deployed internationally. But the idea behind it is, you know, most of the time with AvaLAN products, you're bridging to the network. Sometimes you run into situations where you don't have a network that you can bridge to. So we called it net drop because it's like having a network drop, you know, wherever you need it. And in some cases you can bridge to it. In other cases you can just use the cellular modem by itself. So if you're familiar with the little, little MiFi or the little, internet access points or whatever that run over cellular, it's a similar type of thing, but we've done some things to industrialize it in terms of their enclosure and offered a product or whatever that's more acceptable across multiple carriers. And we really, it's been very exciting. So from a security standpoint, we see this being used for, access gates, could be used for cameras as well. The camera thing, there's a little bit of a hitch on the camera side, not from as much of a bandwidth standpoint, but more from a cost standpoint. So everyone's been advertising their quote-unquote, data unlimited plans, and Sprint, if they're advertising saying that they're the only data unlimited plan, is actually correct. So Verizon and AT&T's plans basically give you 2 gigabits per month with their unlimited plans. And if you know megapixel camera, 15 frames per second, you can use up 2 gig in about 24 hours.
So go with Sprint.
One answer is go with Sprint. The other answer is, look at a different camera. Like look at a Mobotics camera or a camera from who's the other guys, whatever, that have the disk drive on board or whatever. But someone that's got some local storage, such that you would just go to it if you need to pull events or if you need to pull information off of it. Otherwise, streaming on a continuous basis, yeah, Sprint's your option there. In addition to working with multiple carriers, this thing actually will work with different technologies even within those carriers. So, for instance, AT&T offers, edge network as well as HDSPA, which is a slower version and a higher data rate version, but it will actually support both. So this is kind of the product. The other thing to note is, if you can see from the image, and maybe my mouse, I don't know if you can see my mouse on your slides or not, but there's some little lights that you see on there. And we've actually added a window to our enclosure. And you'll see that window roll out on our other products over the next few months, but this will be our first one that actually offers a little window so you can see the LEDs without having to take off the lid.
Cool.
And let's see, price on this one is, go ahead.
No, go ahead, and then I'll come back to you.
Yeah, price on this one's $9.95. Is that right, Brooke? Brooke?
That's correct.
Okay.
Sorry, I was muted.
Yeah.
$9.99. You were off by
$9.99.
$4.
I was off by $4. There you go. That's list price.
Okay. Now you said access control is capable. Are we able to change contacts and things like that? because that was always the issue with the point-to-point stuff that we had to use that Cypress board. Do we have any thoughts there? Because
Well, this offers an Ethernet port, just like a 900 XTR does. Okay.
Okay.
So, whatever you want to connect out there, whatever that needs Ethernet connectivity, it works the same way.
So we still would need that Cypress board.
You would. You would need to be able to translate it.
Okay.
So. Anyway, so I guess that's it for me. You got any questions on this one before we move to the next one?
Hey Matt, this is Bob. I've needed this before, and my market that I've seen is that law enforcement wants to do surveillance on some type of perp's house, and they're only going to be there for a week or 2 weeks.
Yep.
So they've rigged up, i.e. housings, Sony cameras, and non-products of ours, and they get permission. Obviously, they have the rights to go hang it on some utility pole or lay it in their van.
Yeah, situational security, this was excellent because you can basically bring it in, use it and take it with you, take it back out. It'd be perfect for that.
And Brooke, that's part of your pitch to Will.
Yeah. Yeah, it's, that's the thing. I mean, we all know cellular is coming on. I mean, it's been coming on strong, and, we always kind of sold against it, but Mike kind of found a really cool way of offering this is very new technology from Qualcomm, and in the fact that it's easy to provision, and it's used with all carriers, so you can just buy one SKU and it works, no question. So, we need to offer it, and we're now offering it. I still think the data plan is something that not all customers are going to like. Some customers will, just like we discussed, be all for it.
So that's not that you're going to keep. Law enforcement's not going to care. That's just expense for them. Instead of an officer sitting there.
So does the integrator have to arrange for the carrier, or does the end customer have to arrange for that? And then how do you set it up?
Yeah, so here's kind of how the provisioning of the service will go. There's really going to be two methods, and one is still sort of in development a little bit. So standard method is you buy this, and it's got a web interface to it, and so you call up your preferred carrier, like AT&T or Sprint or Verizon, and say, hey, I've got this thing, here's my IMEI number. They'll give you then a code that you enter into the web interface to activate it, and it provisions over the air. Okay? Very, very straightforward. There's lots of really, good help information or whatever built into this web interface. In fact, there's so much help information built into this, we're not planning on doing a manual, because essentially everything that's in the manual is in the web interface. Okay? That's kind of method number one. Method number two is we're actually looking at pre-provisioning some of these for customers before they ship. And so we're still working on the details and the partnerships with the carriers, but the way that would work is we'll say, hey, Mr. Customer, give me your information in terms of your company name and your address and all that sort of thing. We'll provision it, get it all set up before it actually ships out the door to you, then you just turn it on. And then billing, ongoing billing from a monthly basis or whatever would be done. They'll get a bill from AT&T or Verizon or whatever.
Now, my air card that I have from Sprint has a phone number attached to that. So if you guys do that partitioning, are they all going to have Huntsville addresses or, phone numbers?
No.
Okay, so you can get them.
Yeah, it goes to where the business is or where the address is of, where it comes from. Although I will tell you the phone numbers on these devices don't really matter because it's much more the IP address of the device that matters.
Gotcha. And are we charging for this service in the thought process, or are we going to give this away?
We will probably charge, but sort of a minimal fee. We have a distribution partner that sort of already does this with other products other than ours, and I think they charge like a $45 or $50 fee for having it pre-provisioned. So, and we haven't decided whether we're going to charge or not charge, but okay. Oh, one other thing on cellular. One of the things that, of course, started our interest in cellular was we got some people that are using our 900 megahertz radios for more sort of SCADA type applications, monitor and control type stuff, and they couldn't relay back to a network, connection, and so they actually were putting cellular in and basically, shooting 900 megahertz back to a 900 XTR, doing it as an access point connected to a cell thing, and so this will enable that as an application as well. Okay. I think we're, John, you're up next.
All right, so what we're highlighting next is our new 1800 megahertz high security dome housing. And what this consists of is our traditional dome housing solution with our DotWorks PTZ housing and a 900 XTR radio for the head inside. And what it incorporates is a cryptographic module that is FIPS 140-2 level 2 validated. So what we've done is basically embedded this FIPS cryptographic module right directly to the 900 MTR inside the dome housing, and then the same for the other side. There's also the cryptographic module inside the enclosed radio for the head end. So what the FIPS 140-2 level 2 is, NIST set forth standards for managing communication, and this is a high-level encryption that's geared towards military, financial, and healthcare verticals. So when you run into applications in any of those markets that require video transmission encrypted at this level, AvaLAN is truly the only player out there. I mean, this is as unique gets for filling a need. So that's really what we have. Just looking over here to make sure there's everything I've wanted to touch on. So as Brooke mentioned earlier, we were actually contacted. Matt knows the person, but someone from Security Products Magazine actually reached out to us and said, "Hey, we've seen the press release on this, and this thing is awesome. So we want to get you guys in the running." So we thought it was a good idea, and now here we are. We won a category for 2011 New Product of the Year with this offering because of its niche characteristics. So we feel like we have an extremely strong play. There's very, very few devices out there that encrypt at that level, much less doing video and even more granular, non-line of sight videos. So truly an awesome product. Any questions on that one, anyone? Or
yeah, is the PTZ the only housing you have? The DotWorks?
It's the only one we currently have, but we could probably do it in a tube if we needed to. There's enough room in there.
And by the way, the MSRP on the dome housing version is $29.99.
Cool.
Okay.
Okay.
Which, yeah, I mean, if the customer needs that level of encryption, price probably won't even be the question. But it is kind of a nice feature now. I mean, if you run into somebody and they're like, hey, whoever government agency is very concerned that someone would hack into our video stream or whatever, it's like you mentioned FIPS 140-2 to them, and they will get giddy.
Well, and to touch a little further on that, FIPS actually is broken down into 4 levels. Level 1 encryption is at the software, at the software level. Level 2 actually puts a protective coating on the module to, so that you can detect if it's been tampered with. So, with us being outdoor-based, going at a camera out at the pole, level 1 wasn't good enough. Level 2 is much more difficult to achieve than level 1. So, that's where we carried it to. And, what other FIPS technologies are out there, this is minimally priced in comparison to other, other Wi-Fi based things out there on the market. Doesn't even hold a candle to what we're offering these for.
Have we ever thought about going to these police trade shows like in NATIA and some of the other ones that are out there? This is the kind of stuff that they probably would eat up.
That's a good point, because, Rod, I've heard the buzzword used in municipality opportunities, as well as I've even heard it thrown around in water, wastewater for SCADA. And, again, they're beginning to incorporate video into water, wastewater applications, and FIPS is a buzzword in that market. So, again, but municipalities, I've heard it on a handful of occasions, so it's coming there as well.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. Good. Any other
Matt,
questions?
we haven't looked at going to any police-based trade show, municipality-based, to my knowledge.
No, we haven't. Not yet.
But
It's a good point, Rod. It's something we should look into.
Well, I know the NATIA show, but there's a couple other ones, the big federal government Homeland Security trade shows and stuff like that. Yep. A buddy of mine sells cameras for unbelievable amounts of money that are low light, and he does huge amounts of business at those shows because of that. And this just reminds me of that kind of technology that they'd love, and especially it was Bob that mentioned the surveillance with the police and so forth. So if you can actively show that, you might gain. Now, NATIA, just so you know, I mean, it's not a show that you have to be vetted before you even get in. So you can't just give all the reps passes to it, because we wouldn't be able to get in. They have to go through all these different
security checks and stuff.
Exactly. So it's like your core group of people would be something that you'd have to do as AvaLAN alone, pretty much.
So John probably could never go.
That's correct.
Is that what you're trying to get at, Rod? Yeah.
Well, Megan's Law was created for people like John Cornelius. So.
Well, we will be showing at the Cops West show in Ontario in November. We have a table there. We probably have anywhere between, there are about 400 or 500 vendors, tables, and it's only for cops. They're in the West Coast, and we're going to have this. We'd like to have this product. I'm not sure if we got any samples yet that are available, Brooke, but this is something that would be good to have on. Bassett has a table with actually two tables and all sorts of products.
Oh, absolutely. When's that show?
That show is in November. It's in Ontario Convention Center. It's actually the 8th and 9th of November.
Awesome. We will definitely get something to, I can bring it up and we could set it out if you want to. And this one is with the 900 megahertz. We're actually looking at FIPS over cellular as well. That's still in development, but that shows some promise.
Well, yeah, the AES encrypted information, whether it's on radio, whether it's on video, whatever, that's a hot point for the law enforcement community.
Yeah.
Are we looking at FIPS on a higher bandwidth?
Yes, we are,
Right.
but it's not FIPS kind of across the board. We're looking at in bits and pieces, but each one has to be developed, because you have to understand this is a hardware encryption module that we're working in conjunction with our other radios, but we basically have to design our own hardware module into our other products. So it's possible kind of across the board. The whole idea behind FIPS for the government is how to make an traditionally unsecure medium secure. So all wireless, and actually in some ways almost all communications, is considered unsecure until you actually do something to secure it, wired or wireless.
And this is an AES encryption format, is it not?
It is. It basically takes FIPS 197 government level AES to a whole new level, and adds a bunch of additional controls to it.
But just as an aside, most AES encrypted is not allowed to be sold out of the country, just because of its security level.
Right, 256-bit and above is not.
Exactly. And this is 256, right?
Yeah. And absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
For right now, the bandwidth we can crank through that cryptographic module is 5 megabits maximum right now, so that's probably as high as we'll be going in the short term. But
Good point.
it's showing. What's that?
I said good point.
Yeah. It's showing a lot of promise. And again, we do offer it just as a module through our partner DigiCorp. So it can be embedded in any communication stream out there. So, if you come across someone, I'm sure there's a way we can get you partnered up with Digi just to sell the module, just as an aside. But we'll be bringing it out in standard products. All right. So the final exciting new product is something you guys probably saw, kind of our beta at ISC West. You kind of heard us talking about it probably now for over a year. But we've brought it out in a product, one part number, completely integrated, ready to ship. This is, you've seen a lot of, sun surveillances and the types of solar integrated surveillance packages with the panels. This is kind of the first of its kind standard product with the amorphous solar skin and a very industrial steel pole, with a enclosed cabinet. You can see the picture there. The batteries are all inside the pole. Circuitry is real clean and just extremely easy to use. So it's shown here. It has the Mobotix M12 on it. I know you guys, most of you don't sell Mobotix. This could maybe be a way to sell Mobotix in kind of a stealthy way without upsetting your alliances with your camera manufacturers. But we chose that camera because it's very low power, no moving parts, outdoor rated already, and it has the built-in storage so that you can capture in megapixel, store it, but then view it, as needed over the 900 megahertz link. So kind of the cool thing here is the combo of our very low power radio and that very low power camera with this solar amorphous skin, provides a pretty outstanding solution. And it's very vandal proof. If you knock out a section of that solar skin, it doesn't knock down the whole array. So this is $99.99 is the MSRP. We're not trying to be the cheapest solar solution out there, but we feel that it has a lot of value in its true industrial strength. Comes with base plate mounting and all that sort of thing. So all you really need to do is dig a little hole, pour some quick read in there, and drop this thing in the ground and you're standalone. Trying to think of anything else on this.
Call it truly wireless. Wireless power and wireless video.
Yeah. We're also kind of looking at, we're still doing some testing on it, but looking at putting our 3G on it as well. Just had we sent out the blast email. I think you guys probably saw it, and Annixter called immediately and said, hey, got National Park Service, they've got a trailhead, they need a surveillance pole up there, a solar surveillance pole, and but they can't get out with 900 megahertz. So, we'll probably get feedback like that, but ASPs are nice on this, so if you sell a few of these, you can be some nice commission checks, and as salespeople, that's what we all want.
I like it.
Yeah, what do you guys think?
So, Brooke,
Now,
can you see the screen on there now?
You can feel free to tell if it sucks, too.
No, I mean, but you got a 3 megapixel camera going 900 megahertz. So what's the effective frame rate?
About 1 frame every hour.
So if you look online, or can you guys see the screen that I just put on there?
Yep.
So that's the pole out in front of our office, looking at our parking lot, and we're running. I can't remember what we put it at.
That's pretty good.
Isn't that VGA?
I think it is.
Oh, okay.
I think it's running VGA resolution. Let's see.
So what is the power draw on the Mobotix camera?
Yeah, this is running 640 by 480 right now. What's the power draw? It's about 3 watts.
Okay.
So do you see that little red thing come up? So it's all event driven. The camera is an amazing device, actually. every feature known to man kind of just built right into the camera. So it's got local storage as well as you know, some video analytics built in. It's got audio, so you can actually turn on a microphone and listen to what's going on out there, and you can play audio back out through it, and it's both day and night.
Infrared.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, we just saw a car go by there, and I think
We're running at 16 frames with VGA right now. I'll show you what it looks like full up 3
Is that a
megapixel.
car from yesterday?
No, it's out there now. Oh, here. I was gonna say I think I just popped it to 3 megapixel. I'll walk out and wave at everybody. Let's see if I get the image back
you're
up here.
crazy to try to do this demo, Matt.
What, the 3 meg demo?
3 megapixel. We're gonna see.
It'll put it on there. The problem is it's huge. It's just a huge image.
Right.
The meeting's going to blow up too.
I mean, this is probably a
Go to a frame. Go to a frame a second. Yeah, that'll be fine.
They got a lunch meeting out here.
How often do you see integrators or end users willing to view live feeds at, for instance, SIF, and record at the camera at megapixel, and then go pull the card if an event occurs? Is that something that your customers press back on, or are they open to that? Rod? Bob, anyone?
I'm sorry, can you say that again?
Are end users okay with onboard storage and then viewing live video feeds from multiple cameras at SIF resolution, and then going and pulling a higher image res after an event occurs or something? Or do they object to that?
That would probably work. I mean,
It's situational based, what resources they have. I mean, you have many facilities don't even have anybody watching this stuff on the live end.
yeah, and if you can do a stream of VGA and store at the camera at a full 3 megapixels, then definitely I think they would be. Matt is still ugly. No, I'm just kidding.
Nice. Thank you very much.
We see your headset there.
Great. Yeah, I look like I'm flying a helicopter.
But there's some gaps in the picture that I'm getting. I don't know about you guys.
There's a lot of gray.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and now he's gone.
I think the bottom line is you wouldn't try to run 3 megapixel through it, but at VGA resolution, and the other thing is I've seen, so everyone knows this is Sloan Pole out of Boise. They're the ones that make the poles, and they're actually selling quite a number of these. A lot of them in industrial, like oil and gas, for monitoring, and they use this camera or whatever, and it's got the event-driven text messages or whatever, and so something happens out there, it snaps 2 or 3 images, sends them to you in a text, and I mean, that's where I kind of see it being used, is almost more in industrial. You got a port, you got, trailhead, different odd places where you don't have power, and you just need to get some images. So it's an option. Let us know if if you have any opportunities for it.
And you guys, if you want to log in and play with this, you're more than welcome to. If you see on there, there's the address 7576 254 182 colon 8086. That's ported to the outside. So
Can we drop that in the questions?
I can't see that. 75 what?
76 254 182
Yeah.
colon 8086. There's a truck going by.
What if we drop this, if I drop it in the chat box, can people copy it?
They should be able to. You type it into the message.
Here. Will that work?
Oh yeah, that's even better. There goes another car. Yeah, so that AvaLAN 01 DYDNS that Brooke just put in there as a link, that'll get you there all the time too. All right.
Good.
So that's pretty much it. What, just generally, any feedback?
I think I like it. Give some other options.
On the one thing I'll mention, the integrators we've spoken with, the cheapest quote I've heard to run power was $7,500, on up to closer to 15 grand. So